Angular 19 adds HTTP resource as a new simple way to make HTTP requests. This is a new kind of resource extending the primitive resource. Since HTTP resource uses HTTP client under the hood to fetch data, we need to add it to this application. Open the application config and add provide HTTP client. We use the HTTP resource function to create this new kind of resource. The first argument is the URL of the request. This URL can be specified as a string, a function, or an object. The function must return a string, an object, or undefined. If the function returns undefined, the request will not be executed. This object contains request options. But only the URL option is required. The request can be reactive. This is one of the key features of HTTP resource. Let's create a signal and use it in this URL. After executing the first request, HTTP resource automatically executes it whenever the signal changes. We can use multiple signals in the URL. If at least one signal changes, HTTP resource automatically executes this request. We can read signals anywhere, but automatic execution of the request when signals change works only for functions. This URL can be dynamically created using a function. Signals can be used not only in the URL, but also in request options. If any signal changes, the request is executed. By default, HTTP resource expects a JSON response and parses it into an object. Let's open the component template and display the received value. To access this value, use the value property of the resource. This property is a signal, so parentheses must be used after its name. In this example, each server response contains an image file name and title. This template displays an image and two buttons to navigate between images. The index property is a signal, storing the image position in this gallery. Clicking the buttons updates the index signal. Updating the index signal automatically executes the request. This resource receives new data and updates the page. In addition to JSON, HTTP resource supports additional formats for receiving data: plain text, blob data, and an array buffer. We can access the response headers and status as signals. HTTP resource supports a default value used in idle, loading, and error states. By default, undefined is used. This type parameter defines the structure of the received data. For JSON data, in many cases, it's better to define an interface. HTTP resource provides a simple new way to get data, but it's not a replacement for HTTP client. HTTP resource is an experimental feature and may change.